Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christine Carroll. Between 2014, this is in my face, sorry. Between 2014 and 2015, I struggled with my health. I lost my job, my brother, and my housing. As a result, my daughter and I ended up at DC General Family Shelter. I'm cold, excuse me. For about 6 months before being transferred to Community of Hope housing program called Hope Apartments, where we are currently residing there along with other families. Unlike DC General, Hope Apartments is small, clean, well secured, and the staff is like family. They are available 24 hours a day to meet our needs, and I'm certain my family is in a better place because of them. My family receives housing, dental, and health services, also behavioral services, and support all in one place through the wraparound services provided by Community of Hope. Although I never stopped working, I'm currently employed through a seasonal opportunity, but I am confident that with my Community of Hope case manager, I will be on my way to a permanent position in January. Or, if any of you have something available, let me know. After the ribbon cutting, we have things to take care of here. These new programs opening across the city will give families the same opportunities as mine to receive services we need in an environment that is safe, clean, and welcoming. Thank you, Mayor Bowser, for hearing us. Now, without any further delay, it's my pleasure to introduce my mayor, Muriel Bowser. Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Well, good evening, everybody. I am really delighted to be here with all of you, and let's give Christine a big round of applause for sharing her story with us. And let Christine's face be a reminder that all of us here in Washington, D.C. really want the same things. No matter where we live, where we were born, what hardship we encountered, we want a safe place to live, raise our children, and have opportunities that this city affords, right? Right? And that's what the Triumph is all about. Isn't she lovely? So you all know that 4 years ago, really 5 years ago now, we went all across the city, and there was near unanimous agreement about one thing, and that was that a city as prosperous as ours should and must do better by families who need a second opportunity. And DC General just wasn't what we should be proud of as a city. It was too big, too run down, too remote to serve families who needed an opportunity to rebuild. And so our decision was that we would not replace DC General with another too big, too remote facility where families couldn't get back on their feet. But we would have smaller, more dignified facilities in all 8 wards of the District of Columbia. And in those smaller facilities, we would have more concentrated services. We would bring families closer to the amenities that would help them and their children thrive. And that's what we have been able to do. I'm very proud of the Ward 8 community for embracing their neighbors. So let's hear it for all of Ward 8. Let me also thank all of the members of our advisory team here in Ward 8. I think you're going to hear from Olivia Henderson, who is one of our advisory team members. Let's thank you, Olivia. And also all of the commissioners who have been a part of the process. I see Patty Carmen in the front. Where are the other Ward 8 ANCs? Thank you, commissioners, for being a part of this process. Let me just call out a few members of my team, and then we're going to get inside and take a look at our beautiful facility. But we have in our city, and I don't want you to think that DC General or even our short-term family housing facilities are our entire homeless services plan. Our Interagency Council on the Homelessness has put together a very smart plan. And they said to me, Mayor, if you're serious about ending homelessness, which we are, we need you to stand behind this plan and put our tax tax dollars behind it too. And that's what we've been able to do for the last 4 years, and we'll continue to do it in the next 4 years with your support. So Christy Greenwald and all of our commissioners on the Interagency Council on Homelessness, thank you for your leadership. Let me also acknowledge Laura Zeilinger, who is our director of the Department of Human Services. And our Human Services agency really works with families, with singles, with everybody in the district to promote their health and well-being, but also their ability to embrace and engage in a growing economy and in a city that's prospering. And that's tough work. And every single day, our employees at the Department of Human Services tackle that work with a lot of energy and vigor. And because of that, we see our incidences of families seeking shelter because they become homeless in the last 4 years decrease by 40%. And that is a big number. We've seen our number of singles also seeking shelter decrease by 17%. But none of us will be satisfied until everyone has a safe place to call home. We believe very intently, and I'm using Laura's words now, so forgive me, but we put housing first in our city. When people have housing, they can take care of their health care. When people have housing, they can take care of their educational needs. When people have housing, they can take care of their children. So if we are going to put housing first, it requires consistency. It requires tough decisions. It sometimes even requires going to court to fight for what you know is right. And I'm proud of my team because when we go to fight in court, we've been winning, and we're going to keep fighting until we get it done. So this is our third facility that we're opening. I believe next will be Ward 6, then Ward 3, and Ward 5. And then we will have completed our short-term family housing facilities. The objective is, in a city like ours, we're always going to need emergency housing, okay? So we're always going to need these. But we shouldn't, as our system improves and we create more affordable housing in the city, we will be able to tick down all of the other emergency housing that we have to use in hotels. So we didn't get here overnight. But we are working this problem down month by month, year by year, and we will end homelessness in the District of Columbia. So I want to thank everybody involved. We're going to acknowledge Director Zeilinger as well as Olivia Henderson, followed by Director Anderson, who's going to tell you all about the construction, the design, and what we'll find inside. Laura Zeilinger.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out this evening for this amazing celebration. It absolutely is. I know it's chilly and folks have been standing for a while, but this is just so absolutely worth it and such a special day for our community. As we're now opening our third new short-term family housing program, we're able to see and feel the stark difference in what it means to provide the right services in an environment that reflects our values, showing the care and the love we feel for our families. Our families are absolutely worth it. These are investments that they deserve and they need. And when they present for support in crisis, we want them to know that they are in the hands of people who believe in them. And it does take a building like this to really absolutely show and reflect that, and that is who we are. The strength in the name this community chose, and this community chose the name The Triumph, and it reflects that too, that we know that our families are strong and resilient, and they will triumph over the crisis of homelessness. We are well into a complete transformation of our system of care, and the mayor talked about that. Our prevention programs are working. Collaboration with housing partners and our programs are improving. And no family will ever face the fear and trauma of homelessness at DC General again. That is something to talk about. It's almost something to cry about for me, actually. I'm going to try not to. As the mayor noted, from January 2016 to January 2018, we saw an almost 40% reduction in homelessness among families. And I want you to know that today there are 23% fewer families in shelter than this time last year. So those are reductions that we are continuing. And we have fewer families in motels than before our mayor took office. So while we have stopped making new placements at DC General and have been reforming our system, we have also been shrinking homelessness over this important work that we've done together as a community. And this is all of community work. This is our community members, our providers, our advocates, but most importantly, our families who are taking the steps every day to make life different for themselves. So this deliberate work on the systems change is not easy, and it also could not happen without the staunch leadership and support of our mayor and support from our city council. The mayor acknowledged our team at DHS, and I just want to reiterate that. I know I was going to say it anyway, but I'm not going to litter on this beautiful site. I want to acknowledge our FSA administrator who is here, Tamitha Davis, our family deputy over homeless services, Noah Abram, our short-term family housing program manager, Jenna Savasco, our capital and operations team led by Lisa Kelly, and the many other staff who I did not name who are also here, as well as the amazing work and partnership of DGS to build this incredible building. Mike Jellin has been leading that team with Brian. And of course, we are thrilled with the partnership. The mayor noted, and I just want to reiterate how welcoming and absolutely phenomenal partners we have in this community with our advisory team co-chair. I also want to acknowledge that I see serves in the back we have some, this effort, this transformation that we're making is not going unnoticed. So we received a national award recently from the National Alliance to End Homelessness for the progress that we are making. And I see the U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness Executive Director here. I invited him to see the incredible work we're doing right here in our nation's capital. There are cities across the country. We actually had international visitors today are looking at what we are doing. We are a model for the country, and we're becoming a model for the world and how we take care of people. And this site right here in this community is just an absolutely perfect example of that. The last thing I want to just note is that we are thrilled to be working here at this site with Community of Hope. Community of Hope has a deep and long-standing presence in this neighborhood. They have a health clinic just around the corner. Their executive director, Kelly Sweeney McShane, is co-chair of the Strategic Planning Committee of the ICH. We have worked together for about a decade now on our efforts on homeless services, and they have only been expanding to meet a variety of needs that children and families experience so to improve their health and wellness and permanency and in community overall. So I want to just say how absolutely thrilled we are to have them as a partner and an on-site operator here. And when you walk in and see the amenities, as well as you will notice the care that and personal touch that they put into this space. I want to finally just thank Ms. Christine Carroll for the beautiful introduction. I want to acknowledge that we often ask people to tell their stories, and that is a very vulnerable thing for somebody to do. I don't know how many of you have gotten up and talked to a whole group of strangers about your darkest days. That is a big ask. But we ask that sometimes because we want people to understand and break some of those myths about why is it that people experience homelessness. Is it that they're lazy, they don't want to work, they're somehow not trying hard enough? And that, of course, is not the case. That life happens, but when people don't have the same assets that some of us that are privileged to have, they fall into the crisis of homelessness. That should not happen. It is wrong, and they deserve the kind of support that we provide here. So I want to just acknowledge your bravery. You are absolutely a hero to me personally and all of us, and thank you for what you did for all of us today. And with that, I'm going to introduce, I think next our ANC, our co-chair and our ANC commissioner, and then Director Anderson from here. So yes, Miss Olivia Henderson.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm definitely, it's not going to hold you long at all. But you see, I came in my army gear because you got to come for war in this community. However, I just want to say it's a great day right now in ANC 8D. I don't want to say 8D02 because it wasn't me as an individual commissioner who ensured that this beautiful building was developed right here in Ward 8. So I want to thank the ANC 8D commissioners, if you can raise your hand. I want to thank the advisory team and also Southeast Children's Fund and Henley Elementary School, who definitely worked to ensure that this development was a success. However, it's because of families such as you, Ms. Curl, that when the mayor stated that she was going to close down DC General, ANC 8D never hesitated. So we said, yes, bring them to our community. And we had a lot of people to say, we don't want them people. We don't want those people. But they was our people. They was us. So it's like, welcome to the community. And we knew that we have to start somewhere with development. If you want to see change in your community, you have to bring something to bring about that change. We have crime everywhere, not throughout Ward 8, but throughout the District of Columbia, the DMV. It's going to happen. But when you bring in new communities, you bring about change in your community, and you have more eyes to tell what's happening in our community. We're going to see this project to the end, and it's going to be successful. So we welcome. If it's you and your family, we welcome you to the community, and we're excited about this because, like they say, the Community of Hope, if you're not already a member of them, you need to become a member of them. They are a great provider, and this is just not a building. This is the Triumph. This is not a homeless shelter. This is their home with many resources that will develop a family to succeed to their highest level. And this is just a wonderful and exciting day for us all. So thank you all for coming to the community, and we hope that you enjoy what's inside.
Let's hear it for our commissioner. Those were excellent words. That's a grassroots leader right there, and I appreciate that grassroots leadership because that's what it takes. I asked Director Anderson, I wanted to step in because I want to introduce him to you. Many of you will know Keith because he has led 2 district agencies, and I've tasked him with leading another now. But he has great experience in the Department of the Environment as well as Department of Parks and Recreation, and now I have appointed him to lead the Department of General Services, which is the construction arm of DC government. I have also made an exciting appointment for Director Gillis, who has led these projects for the last 2 years, and she is going to represent all of us on the Public Service Commission, which regulates our utilities. So it's a win-win for DC government. Keith Anderson. And as Keith comes up, Laura asked me to also mention that the Community of Hope worked with DOES for a job fair to support this facility. And I think you're at like 70% of your hires are going to be from Ward 7 and 8, and that's good news too. Thank you, Director Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and good evening, everyone. And again, welcome to the Triumph, the 3rd short-term family housing unit launched this fall. I am Keith Anderson, and I'm honored to be here to serve as the acting director of DC's Department of General Services. Mayor Bowser, these homes represent a triumph of your vision and leadership to close DC General and to provide short-term family housing for our neediest families. A building with 50 brand new housing units where district families have a safe home to thrive and prepare for their next steps. And for that, we thank you. Now, before we cut this ribbon, there are a couple of folks that I'd like to thank. I would like to acknowledge Councilmember Trayon White for your continuous support of residents in Ward 8. I'd like to thank our partner, DHS Director Laura Zeilinger, and her team for their guidance as DGS conducted and designed the construction of these units. I'd like to thank the Ward 8 Short-Term Family Housing Advisory Team, including many ANC commissioners, the community members. Thank you for your collaboration and opening your community to these new families who would need help moving forward. Ward 8 now joins Wards 4 and 7 with providing units for families to reach out and take hold of a better future. DGS is committed to aligning with the mayor's initiative, Pathway to the Middle Class. The Triumph stands today built by many people who live and work amongst us. The city spent more than $5 million with local businesses to build the Triumph. 10 DC-based firms were on this project. That means 42% of the contractors were DC certified business enterprises. And one of those companies is based right here in Ward 8. Let's acknowledge Moxie Metals. Where's Moxie Metals? And more than 400 DC residents were employed here. In addition, and this is my environmental side, in addition, the Triumph is state-of-the-art, designed for USGBC LEED Gold rating, improved energy performance versus baseline standards, on-site bioretention facilities limiting stormwater runoff, high-efficiency windows, high-efficiency HVAC, high-efficiency plumbing fixtures. This building is wonderful. Finally, let me take the time to thank Team DGS and project delivery team led by Mike Jellin, the capital construction led by Paul Blackman. Where are they? Give them a round of applause. The short-term family housing team led by Brian Butler, and the project manager for this, Marcus Brummer. The architect design team, DLR Group, and the general contractor, MCN. Now, let me just say one thing about MCN Build. We asked them to take on a big challenge, a very big challenge, and deliver this, the Triumph, but not only for our city, not only for this community, but the families in need. And you delivered. And I'd like to thank MCN Build for all that you've done for us. And I'd like to thank all the men and women who made the Triumph triumphant. So this is a proud day for our city. This is a proud day for our Ward 8. And this is a great day for the families in need. Let's cut this ribbon.
Oscar, you good?
Jack, tell them more to the left. More to the left. No, them.
Zach. More to the left.
Good.
Good?
Okay.
Okay, Triumph on 3. 1, 2, 3. Triumph! Woo!